Grief casts 1,000 shadows, yet the one that wrapped around me in the sweltering summer years after my husband's death was not solely born of sorrow. It was a forbidden spark ignited by his own son. As the tempest unleashed its fury upon our weathered coastal home, the air thick with longing, it felt as if the heavens shared in our secret sorrow. In that fleeting moment, a spark ignited between us, shattering the boundaries we dared not cross. I, Sharon, a widow at 52, stood on the edge of a longing that softly called out to Ethan. The sultry evening air wrapped around me, heavy with unspoken desire. As I melted into the shadows of our softly lit living room, my silk robe brushing against my skin like a secret. The heat pressed down, heavy and suffocating. It's been a year since Christian, my husband, was taken from me. The grief has softened, yet an unrelenting ache still lingers in my heart. Tonight that ache was a wildfire, igniting a storm of longing deep inside me, as if the world outside mirrored the chaos of my heart. The lamp's soft light flickered, creating dancing shadows that whispered untold secrets. The gentle sound of water flowing from above broke the spell of my thoughts. A heartbeat later, Ethan entered the living room, droplets glistening on his skin, a towel hanging dangerously low on his hips. At 21, he was a whirlwind of restless energy and quiet intensity, his dark tousled hair framing a face that whispered of secrets yet to be uncovered. He was a haunting reflection of his father, a living echo that left me breathless with longing. We danced around each other, our movements delicate, our words quick and piercing. The shadows crept in, wrapping the room in a tender embrace as the tempest raged beyond the walls. A distant rumble drawing nearer, stirring something deep within. I stood to light the candles, but my foot snagged on the ottoman, a small stumble in the quiet of the moment. I faltered, my hands reaching out in a desperate dance. My fingers grazed Ethan's shoulder, a fleeting touch that hung in the air, thick with unspoken tension as he shifted his towel. My breath caught in my throat. A spark ignited within me, more intense than the sweltering heat surrounding us. "I'm so sorry." Ethan's voice trembled, a broken whisper laced with regret as he reached for the towel, the air thick with unspoken tension. In the soft glow of the moon our gazes met, a quiet yet intense understanding passing between us. I drew away, breathless, the memory of that unintentional, heart-stopping touch burning in my thoughts. Ethan slipped away, whispering something about a flashlight, leaving me alone with a storm of emotions swirling in my mind. Later, in solitude, I found myself drowning in a whirlwind of thoughts and feelings that I could barely contain. The air was heavy with unspoken longing. The tempest within me surged. The next day, the storm lingered, and I found myself at the kitchen counter, a delicate sundress clinging to my skin in the sweltering heat. The air crackled with unspoken desire. My thoughts wandered to that brief moment, the accidental touch with Ethan's stirring feelings I never expected to confront. I leaned into the cold marble, its icy touch unable to quell the fire inside me, the gentle caress of bare feet igniting a forbidden thrill. Ethan stepped in, his bare chest catching the light, shorts hanging low, a hint of mischief in his eyes. My breath hitched. I pretended to be absorbed in my water glass. He opened the refrigerator, its cold light casting fleeting shadows that danced around him, a moment both ordinary and charged with unspoken longing. He reached for water, his movements a dance of elegance, stirring something deep within her that felt both thrilling and wrong. I stole glances, my heart racing as he turned, our eyes locking in a moment that ignited a warmth both thrilling and forbidden. "Are you feeling restless, Sharon?" he asked, his voice a low husky whisper that sent shivers down her spine. I forced a smile that barely masked the turmoil inside. The air was thick with tension. He tilted his head, the bottle grazing his lips in a slow, deliberate caress. I traced the line of his collarbone, captivated by the subtle shift of his throat, before I wrenched my eyes away. The silence lingered, heavy and charged. "Your presence is unforgettable, Ethan." I whispered my confession, warmth flooding my cheeks. He stood still, his eyes growing wide with disbelief. He placed the bottle down, leaning against the counter, his gaze intense and searching. "Do you feel the same way?" I whispered, my voice trembling. "Are women captivating?" His smile sparkled with a hint of secret joy. "It requires a delicate shift," he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. "Girls often whisper that it's a weight too heavy to carry." The air shimmered with unspoken tension. His fingers grazed against mine as he reached for his water, a brief connection that sparked an undeniable heat within me. My heart raced wildly. We stood in a heavy silence until Ethan melted into the shadows, leaving my body filled with a quiet, aching longing. A tempest brewed within me, longing to break free. The darkness lingered, a haunting echo of the storm that raged beyond the horizon, stretching into a second night filled with unspoken longing. The house loomed like a shadow, its darkness wrapping around me, the heat pressing down, almost suffocating. It felt like a whirlwind, each moment slipping through my fingers like sand, leaving only a lingering ache in my heart. Thoughts tethered to Ethan's haunting confession. I drifted alone, a single lantern flickering in the heavy, rain-kissed air. The garage has reached out. Whispers danced in the dark. Ethan lingered at the workbench, his fingers gently caressing the surface of an old radio, lost in memories that felt both sweet and dangerous. I pressed my back against the cold metal of the workbench, feeling the fabric of my shorts shift uncomfortably. My eyes were drawn to him, an unspoken connection igniting between us. His raw intensity captivated me. "What do you feel in your heart?" I breathed a secret longing. He turned slowly, his eyes burning with intensity in the soft glow of the lantern. His breath came in shallow gasps. I edged nearer. "It's shrouded in shadows," I confessed. "The lights dim, casting shadows that whisper secrets of longing. I can't help but surrender. I'm drawn to the shadows, willing to overlook the consequences." His heart raced as doubt crept in. Then a quiet yielding, a breath held in the shadows. My heart raced wildly. My hand shook as I reached out, only to pull back, overwhelmed by the weight of what was unfolding between us. A whirlwind of emotions. My fingers grazed his skin once more, a hesitant inquiry lingering in the air. He loomed above me, a presence both thrilling and dangerous. His breath caught in his throat. His grip on the workbench tightened, knuckles pale with longing. "Sharon, my heart races at the mere thought of you." He whispered a warning, a plea, a surrender that hung in the air like a secret too precious to share. My hand reached out, fingers gently curling, brushing against theirs in a moment that felt both electric and wrong. A low, haunting sound resonated within me. We stood still, the air thick with unspoken words, as the flickering lantern cast shadows on our entwined breaths. My heart raced. Ethan's gaze, deep and enigmatic, captivated me completely. I let my hand slip from his grasp, a rush of longing and regret flooding my heart. Ethan gasped, his breath hitching as he leaned heavily against the workbench, the weight of unspoken feelings pressing down on him. The air crackled with an intensity that felt almost forbidden. I averted my gaze, my heart swirling with a tempest of forbidden longing and haunting remorse. The night sky hung heavy, charged with unspoken longing. The hidden sanctuary. The air crackled with unspoken words, the night alive with the sound of crickets, heightening the tension that hung between us. A bottle of warm wine, its warmth unable to calm the sparks between us. The garage haunted my mind, a secret world filled with unspoken desires. Ethan leaned closer, their knees nearly touching, sparking a new flame within. His closeness was a heady mix of desire and danger. My breath caught in my throat. His gaze bore into me, intense and searching, as the silence wrapped around us, heavy and profound. "Touch me again, Sharon. Please." His whisper was a rough, desperate caress. My heart raced with a thrill I knew I shouldn't feel. Fingers quivered as they reached out. I hesitated. I reached out, my heart racing with a mix of longing and fear. "Sharon, my heart races at the mere thought of you." He exhaled, a soft warning laced with the weight of surrender. My hand moved, fingers curling, releasing a soft, forbidden groan. His hand brushed against mine, a hesitant touch that ignited a spark. His fingers, bold yet gentle, traced my skin, uncovering hidden sensations and leaving me breathless. "Your burden," I whispered, my voice trembling. His smile reflected a longing that echoed my own. "Just say the word, and I'll be yours," he whispered softly. His hand moved, fingers grazing my inner thigh, igniting a spark of something we both knew we shouldn't feel. Everything began to unravel. His free hand cradled my nape, a steady and possessive caress that sent shivers down my spine. He gently lifted my chin, his touch sending a shiver down my spine. "Is it truly you, Ethan?" I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. He was silent, his fingers tightening in a wordless promise. My lips trembled open. The long-awaited storm was finally upon them. That night, the house whispered secrets in the stillness. In the dim upstairs hallway, a single lantern flickers, casting shadows that dance with longing. I leaned against the cool wall, my mind swirling in a tempest of emotions. He lingered in my mind, a bittersweet ache I couldn't shake. The boy who is always out of reach. A delicate murmur, but even that seemed too weak to capture the depth of feeling. The garage echoed with tension, his body rigid, breath barely a whisper as he spoke my name. The bathroom door whispered open. Ethan stepped into the hall, his skin glistening with water droplets that sparkled like tiny diamonds, a sight both captivating and forbidden. He was a tempest, breathtaking and untamed. Time stood still. His gaze captured mine, sending a shiver through my soul. His gaze broke through my walls, igniting a fire I never expected. "Whisper it, Sharon. Just tell me to stop," he whispered, his voice thick with longing, fighting against the irresistible allure. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I leaned in, my fingers weaving through his damp hair, pulling him closer for a kiss that whispered all the words we dared not say. Their lips met, sparking a fire that felt both thrilling and wrong. His touch sent shivers through me, a rush of emotions I couldn't contain, my heart pounding wildly in response. I convinced myself it was a mistake. Yet, in that electrifying instant, all thoughts faded away. He had ignited a flame, stirring a long-buried passion that felt both exhilarating and dangerous. The air crackled with unspoken desires, as lines faded and feelings surged, drowning out all logic. My hands roamed over him, driven by a longing that felt both thrilling and wrong. "Ethan, my heart races at the mere sound of your name." I inhaled defeat. A low growl escaped his lips as they found mine once more, tilting my world. Bound fingers explored, breaths mingled, and our bodies engaged in a desperate, silent conversation. The cool wall felt like a barrier, a reminder of the fire between us. The candlelight danced, illuminating our intertwined shadows, capturing a moment that felt both sacred and forbidden. Each touch, each whisper against bare skin ignites a fire within. Our lips collided, a spark igniting, overwhelming and intoxicating. I surrendered. The unspoken tension surged, shattered and reshaped itself. With each movement, he drew me in further, my breath-catching fingers entwined in his hair. The storm howled outside, mirroring the chaos inside. A whirlwind of unspoken desires, leaving hearts breathless and forever changed. In the deep silence that enveloped us, our bodies intertwined, the burden of our hidden truth, our forbidden act, lingered in the air, palpable and intense. The line vanished as evening fell, shadows wrapped around them, thick with heat and unspoken secrets. I sat on the couch, the candle flickering softly, casting shadows that danced like unspoken desires. He stepped into a thick, charged quiet. He knelt before me, his gentle touch igniting a spark that felt both thrilling and wrong. His touch, once a mere accident, ignited a longing that felt both thrilling and wrong. My breath caught as his gaze held mine, a silent question lingering between us. I nodded, my voice a whisper, heavy with longing, a whispered vow, delicate and fleeting. He moved on instinct, his lips brushing against mine in a hesitant dance. His presence sparked an undeniable flame. My fingers wove through his hair, drawing him nearer, the world around us fading away. Every heartbeat drew me closer to the brink. My heart raced, drowning in the overwhelming passion that pulled me deeper. A moment of uncertainty, swiftly engulfed by euphoria. My fingers wove through his hair, a breathless gasp escaping my lips. Was this wrong? Did the thrill of the secret pull us together, heightening every moment, enveloping us in a perilous bliss? A daring choice, a bittersweet ache. In that moment everything else disappeared, and an overwhelming longing took hold of my heart. At the edge, breath hitched, body quaking with unspoken desire. He pulled away slowly, his eyes deep and enigmatic, holding secrets that felt both thrilling and dangerous. Silence thick with unspoken desires. The burden of our decisions clings to us, a bittersweet ache of desire and remorse. The barrier dissolved, leaving only the thrill of what could be. The suffocating heat of the blackout enveloped them once more that night. Wine sits untouched on the kitchen table, a silent witness to what could have been. He stepped inside, heart racing. I thought you longed for something deeper. he whispered as the wine flowed, a secret shared in the dim light. I nodded, my heart racing with unspoken words. He sank into his seat, his gaze piercing and filled with unspoken longing. Whispers lingered in the twilight. His shirt clung to him, a silent testament to the heat between them. I struggled to look away. We sipped quietly, the air thick with unspoken feelings, our bond deepening in the hush between us. Your silence echoes with unspoken desires. His voice was barely a breath laced with longing. I turned away, a mix of longing and regret swirling within me. He leaned in closer, the air thick with unspoken words and a tension that felt both thrilling and wrong. What is the heart of it all? It's a maze I navigated, heart racing with every turn. He glanced up, his dark eyes shimmering with an unspoken longing. We can end this, he whispered softly. Few desire. I turned away, my heart racing. Feels too soon to say goodbye. His gaze lingered, filled with unspoken longing. He stepped closer, fingers lingering like a whisper of electricity. Perfect. He inhaled deeply. He softly grasped my hand, pulling me nearer, intensifying the electric connection between us. Just say the word, he murmured, and I'll set you free. I nodded, my heart racing, unable to find the words. He leaned in, our lips barely touching, a delicate spark igniting between us. His hands glided over every curve, igniting a fire within me that left me gasping for air. My fingers wove through his hair, drawing him nearer, as if the world around us faded away. The kiss deepened, bodies entwined, thoughts drowned in a haze of longing. He pulled me closer, our hearts racing as the world around us faded away. The thrill, the danger, so intoxicating, so hard to resist. In the dim kitchen, our bodies whispered secrets, a silent promise hanging in the air. The wall fell apart. The storm howled beyond the walls, but within, we danced in a whirlwind of our secret desires. The allure of our hidden connection, the thrill of the unallowed, wrapped around us like a warm embrace. The next morning, electricity crackled in the air as I stood by the kitchen sink, my robe clinging to me, lost in the rain-soaked yard. The storm had passed, leaving behind a world glistening with secrets. Yet, the memory of our bond lingered like an irresistible whisper. The house whispered secrets of longing. Thomas Ethan stepped in, his chaotic dark eyes flickering nervously from mine. Unspoken tension hung in the air as the coffee maker roared to life. We stood still, hearts racing, caught in a moment that felt both thrilling and wrong. Morning, my heart whispers, a secret shared between us in the soft light of dawn. His voice was a low whisper, heavy with unspoken feelings. I nodded, my heart racing with unspoken feelings. Morning. He drew closer, a warmth enveloping us, igniting something we both knew we shouldn't feel. My heart raced as I confronted him. His gaze captivated me. We can't keep hiding from this truth. I breathed softly. He nodded, a flicker of untamed desire in his eyes. The facade is slipping away, and I can't hold it any longer. His voice quivered as he whispered. Time stood still. He leaned in, his hand finding mine, our fingers weaving together. A fleeting sanctuary in a world that felt so wrong. What do we do now? His gaze lingered, piercing through the veil of dread that hung between them. He leaned in, their foreheads touching, a spark igniting between them. He never uttered the words, but the silence between us spoke volumes. The thought of losing you haunts me. His words pierced my heart. He drew back just enough to cut my cheek, a spark of something unspoken lingering between us. Crave you. His voice barely brushed against her ear. I surrendered, heart racing, eyes shut tight. Just him, just us, together we'll discover a path. I breathed softly. He nodded, a bittersweet distance forming between them. The warmth lingered, a secret between them. The coffee sat, steam curling like whispered secrets in the air. The future loomed heavy with the undeniable change between us. Morning light sparks a connection that transcends guilt and desire, weaving a deep bond between them. Ethan's throat tightened, a rush of unspoken feelings flooding his chest. I know I should go, he whispered softly. I nodded, my heart racing with unspoken words. I watched him leave, my heart aching with every step he took away from me. His absence felt like a heavy silence, wrapping around her heart. By the window, rain fell softly, revealing a sudden truth. The storm outside had passed, but the real turmoil was only just starting to unfold. There's no way to undo this. The delicate waltz of longing and loss pulls you into hidden, uncharted paths. If you've ever sensed a bond that dances on the edge of what's allowed, join us in the whispers of the storm for tales that delve into the heart of human emotion. In the stillness that follows the chaos, both outside and within, lingers the haunting reality of what we've chosen. Sometimes the most dangerous storms are the ones we hide in our hearts, where passion and longing collide in silence. In the heat of that moment, a bond was formed, leaving behind a lingering ache, a bittersweet reminder of what slipped away, what was discovered, and if the fabric of life could ever be woven the same again.